Hey, Michelle O'Neill here, Monday Mastery Moments with Michelle, and I am so excited to start this month's author series where I will spotlight four authors, one, of course, being me, as they tell their stories and share their books with you. And these books are must reads. And I get to kick it off with none other than a friend and mentor in my life, LaShawanda Moore, as she talks about her recovery from hurt, pain, and brokenness with her association with a specific period in her life with corporate America, where she dealt with doubting her ability, coming to that point of doubting her ability, dealing with systemic racism, and even having the ability or the desire to fight back. But you know what? Let her tell her story as she talks about Recover, a woman's journey from failure to restoration. See you on the other side. LaShawanda, I want to thank you for being here tonight as we talk about your book, Recover. Now, what inspired you to really start your book in the first place?
Well, I'll tell you, Michelle, I've been wanting to write a book forever. In fact, I'm always one to say a book is a glorified business card. However, the books that I intended to write were more in the business space, selling, career development, those self-help kind of books. But I found myself in a huge debacle in 2017 of my first career as an engineering leader in corporate America. And I'll tell you, that debacle really wrecked me from the inside out. And I just didn't really know what to do with myself. And, as I was talking to my husband about my desire to write books, and I just felt like my life was on hold because I was going through such deep anguish. It was the worst year that I could remember in my life. And my husband was like, well, why don't you just start to write every day? And I was like, yeah, whatever. I wasn't really feeling creative. But then one morning after finishing my devotion, God said, write every day for 30 days. And I want you to write in your hurt. I need you to write now because you are in it, you feel it. And I want people to be able to really connect with you in the hurt. So write every day for 30 days in the hurt. And that's what really inspired me to start writing Recover. And at the time, I really didn't have the title official. I went through many different iterations of the title, but I knew that Recover was a part of the title.
Wow, that's awesome. So when you're saying that in your hurt, what exactly was going on at that time that you were living in your hurt? What was that all about?
Yeah, so of course I won't go into all of the details, but in my last job, in the last 5 years of my career as an engineering leader, I found myself in a huge debacle, for lack of better terminology, where the entire organization was just against me, and the fact that I came here to be the leader in an area where they felt entitled and felt like it was for them to have the position that I was granted. And it was a lot of racism. It was quite a bit of just not accepting me as their leader, someone who did not have the experience nor the look, right? In fact, in my book, I share a couple examples where they said, you're Black, you're female, you don't have experience, we're having a hard time reporting to you. And in 2017, when I came back from a 2-week vacation at the end of 2016, it was a big shakeup. And the shakeup went across the entire 3,000 population site. And I can't really get into all of the details about it. Some of it, bits and pieces, are in the book. But needless to say, if you could imagine feeling like your entire organization, 100 plus population that reports into you, and I won't say not everybody was against me, but quite a few of the people who were in my organization were out to get me fired, basically. And my integrity was questioned, my character was questioned. And for anyone who knows me, you know that my core value is around integrity and being an ethical person. And so I just really, it hurt me to the core, and I couldn't seem to recover. Nothing I would do seemed to work. My mentors were gone, they had all retired out, and I found myself alone in this place for the first time in my career without the support and advocacy that I needed. And I was also stuck because I started a business venture outside of my career, where I was stuck here in this area, in the Virginia area. So I couldn't just get up and move to another job because this was a huge business venture. And so going in day after day and having to face the giants, I almost felt like I was armoring up every day for battle. And it consumed me and really began to cause me to sabotage myself, listening to my inner critic that I wasn't good enough. Like, I totally lost my confidence, totally lost who I was, because I just couldn't seem to get the traction that I needed to be able to take the organization to the next level. And there, of course, was a turning point in my debacle where I didn't want to be pushed out. I wasn't just going to leave and not be able to get some sort of benefit out of it. I began to put the mirror up and look at myself and began to make some changes to help me, as well as start to educate other people. And it began to shift things. But it was a year, almost, I'll say 2 years actually, of really just fighting for my life in this very heavily racist organization, very entitled.
Wow. Wow. That's so funny, because that rolled right into my next question. So I actually don't even have to answer it, because you answered what your biggest obstacle was. But how did you overcome them? What was the thing that you did, or the things that you did, besides just writing the book? Because as you said, that helped you write through the hurt. But what other things were you able to do to just help you overcome these feelings of hurt and this injustice, because that's what it is. It's an injustice.
Sure. I'll tell you, my relationship with the Lord grew in just leaps and bounds, because there was really no one on the face of the earth that could really help me and to really relieve me of the anguish that I was feeling at the time. In fact, I really wanted to take my life at some point, but I knew that I had 4 beautiful children who counted on me to continue to be mom. I also knew that I had a responsibility to be a leader no matter what, in season and out of season. And so I had to really press into the Lord and spend time in his word the very first thing in the morning. Before I put anything into my head, I didn't check email, I didn't look at social media, I didn't do anything, read a text message, until I read the word and put that into me first, because it was really a mindset thing that I needed to shift and to prepare myself daily to go into the place of business. So the very first thing was my relationship with the Lord. The second thing is, I actually came up with this system called the bold factor. B period O period L period D period. And with this bold factor system, I took myself through the process of B, getting back to the basics of who I am, my why, my purpose. Like, what did God put me on the face of this earth for? And I had to utilize other people to help me pull that why out, because every time I thought I had come up with my why, it really wasn't it. And I needed to come up with something that was deep inside of me that would help me to redirect my focus on advancing that in order to make it every day. So once I uncovered my why, then I made decisions. I used tools and methods to help me do more of what God put me on this earth to do. So that's B, back to the basics. And then O is about owning your strength. I totally forgot what I was good at. I got so caught up in meeting other people's, trying to meet other people's expectations and standards, that I totally forgot what it is that I'm good at naturally, organically. And so I went back to rediscover, what are my strengths? What is it that stands out for me, that when I'm just in my authentic element, I do well? Once I uncovered what those strengths were again, then I began to do more of what I was good at. And once I started to do more of what I was good at, I inspired more than ever. So marrying my why and my strengths together was a powerful marriage in order to help me to start to shift the paradigm, because I knew I was going to leave that place. I didn't know exactly when, but I only wanted to leave with grace. I didn't want anybody to push me out of there. And so I needed to get back to being the inspirational LaShawanda that she always has been all of her life. So B, back to basics. O, own your strength. And L is listen more, talk less. I needed to listen to my
So
father.
important.
First and foremost, listen to God. A lot of times we pray, and we talking to God. But when do we just sit and allow him to speak back to us and to download into us what our next steps are? And so L was about first listening more to God and writing what he's speaking to me. And then, of course, listening to perspectives around me and really trying to understand the perspectives in the room and asking more empowering questions. And I came across this book, Humble Inquiry, and the power of humble inquiries, and just asking questions for clarification and understanding of perspectives, so that I can be more empathetic and that I can be the leader that meets the needs of the people in our organization. And then lastly, D is don't be afraid of feedback. I was so focused on wanting to be liked and accepted that I really wasn't performance managing my people. I wasn't giving them having crucial conversations and giving them feedback that they needed in order to develop. So giving feedback to the people who reported to me, giving feedback to my leader, who was one of my leaders during this period, was such a micromanager. And that micromanagement trickles down to your people. So when I'm feeling the pressure, I'm giving the pressure back down. So I had to get good at giving feedback to my boss as well. Right. And a lot of times people don't know how to give feedback effectively up. And we have to manage up as employees and as business owners. Right. So
Absolutely.
B, back
Absolutely.
to basic. O, own your strengths. L, listen more, talk less. And D, don't be afraid of feedback. That bold factor really helped me walk in a more powerful way. And lastly, I started to teach that bold factor to other people. I redirected my focus off of myself and what I was going through and started to help other people, because I was crazy enough to believe that some other people had gotten themselves into a situation similar.
That's awesome. Awesome. So we got to be bold. BOLD. That's awesome. So now, what do you want readers to know before they buy your book?
Well, I want them to understand that, number one, this is not a biography. Like, this isn't a chronological depiction of LaShawanda's life. What this is a 31-day journey from failure to restoration. And really, it's about uncovering the pain and being okay with the pain in the first section, feeling your pain. When I was hurting, I needed to give myself permission and grace to hurt. and to cry and to allow myself to cleanse and just really feel the anguish and everything that I felt in my heart, in my soul, in my belly. I needed to feel it. The second part of the book is about the pruning process and what is it that God is trying to tell you through the situation. Even though a lot of the things happened to me, there were some things that I participated in that sabotaged me during the time as a reaction. And there were also some things that were uncovered that I needed to improve upon in order to be a better leader and in order to go to the next level that God had for me in my life. So the mid part of the book is really about pruning and asking what is it that God is trying to show me? What's he trying to tell me through the situation? Right. And then the last part of the book is really about taking and turning that mess into your message and shining for God. Awesome. Letting your light shine, helping other people with your learning. So it's a gradual from pain to victory, right? It's one of those, it's a conversation starter. And it's something that I hope that people will do with other people. So when you buy a book, buy another one for a friend so that you do it together. Because during this time, people really didn't know what I was going through. There were some folks like at work, they really didn't know how hurt I was because I walked in there every day with a smile on my face. But I was dying inside. And I learned that so many people are dying inside and just not talking about it. So I hope that this book will get people talking to one another because we need each other to survive.
Awesome. So how can they buy your book and where can they find, most importantly, where can they find you?
The book can be purchased on my website. Right now, I am focused on personalizing books and praying over every book that goes out of my home. So you can purchase it on my website, bit.ly/recover book. You can also go to LaShawandamore.com and click on my products, shop, and my products, and the book will be listed there. It is available on Amazon. If people prefer not to have a personally autographed copy of my book with a gift from me and prayed over, then they can go right on Amazon and get it as well. And to find me, LaShawandamore.com, as well as all social media platforms. I'm Elevate Success on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, LaShawanda Moore. I'm out there. YouTube, Google me.
Yes, you
and I'm
are.
out there.
Well,
I think, more than anything, Michelle, I just want to help people. I want my life to be an example of what God can do. If God can heal me from the things that I went through, and throughout the book, I share bits and pieces of my story throughout my life, as well as a biblical context to go with the story. And then there's a lot of prompting for writing, because I believe that part of the healing journey is to write and allow God to speak to you through your writing. So I just want people to be helped. And I'm always available if anyone needs me, wants to talk about it.
Awesome. I really want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you have a busy day. You have 4 wonderful children, a husband, and you have your business. So again, I want to thank you for being here tonight. And
you're welcome.
Please go and get LaShawanda's book, Recover, A Woman's Journey from Failure to Restoration. Thank you, LaShawanda.
You're welcome. Waiting for you.